What's up, comic and pop culture fans? James from Minhunter Comics here. I intentionally declined a collection today because the comics smelled like cigarettes, and I actually found cigarette butts in the banker's box that the guy brought the stuff in. Don't worry, there was nothing of real value in there anyway, but it made me think that maybe I should do a video talking about the weirdest crap I've ever found in either comic books themselves, within the bag and board, or maybe the box that they were brought in. Have you ever found something cool, and have you ever found something not so cool in a collection buy? I'm going to start it off with blood. And unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. I've definitely seen a few comics that have had blood on them before, but I particularly remember one. I was really inspecting it because it was a comic with a little bit of higher potential value, and it was unmistakably soaked practically in brown dried blood on the back of this thing. Now, the funny thing is, sometimes when you have the heavy duty Mylar, you get some cuts, or maybe you get some cuts on some cardboard. Trust me, this is a hobby that comes with some paper cuts. That's not a frickin' paper cut. Some dude mopped up a crime scene with that. Yeah, I never really got an answer to that. Who knows? This one's cool. I found a movie ticket for someone's watching of Blade Runner in the early 80s movie adaptation Blade Runner comic book. That was really cool. Probably should have kept it. I sold that a few years ago, and I kind of wish I didn't. Believe it or not, it's the weird stuff like that I wish I held on to more than bigger keys. Obviously, someone really dug that and went to the extra step to put that in there. I thought it was really cool. This was not in the actual comics, but from a dude. Hand-drawn gay cartoon porn. I am not here to judge, but perhaps you might want to take your hand-drawn gay cartoon porn out of the box before you have me check it out to peruse your collection. Or maybe that was intentional. Subject matter aside, I used to be a cartoonist, and it was pretty well drawn. It's also one of the most awkward ones on the list because this is one that was caught when the collection was being shown to me. It was a bin of comics in the trunk of his car, but I thought that was a particularly weird way to start a comic deal. How about a love letter? That is right. This is an awkward story because I'm the guilty party here. When I broke up with my ex, she had written "I'm sorry it didn't work out, but I still love you" sort of letter. Somehow that letter got mixed up in a small little stack of Batman comics that then made its way out to a customer. I don't know how this happened. I will feel shame and embarrassment for the rest of my life. This is years ago, and I still can't get over this. So he let me know, but what's crazy is I never knew about the letter, so I really, really don't know how it got in there. The only thing I can think of is when I lived at my parents' house, I had some Batman comics in this old corner of the room, and sometimes I would put more personal items in there too. God damn it. Oh, and another important detail, this was several years later after the actual breakup. So that was crazy. He actually mailed it back to me, and I don't know, I guess it's somewhere. Maybe I'll throw it in with another customer's order. A triple cover. I still have yet to find double covers out there, but I did find one triple cover. And of all things, it was an Archie book. Now, admittedly, there's not a lot of value in Archie books, and somehow I happened to open the right one when I was checking out a collection. Maybe it's because it was a 12 center that made me want to actually take a peek. It was a Jughead, actually, not an Archie. Frickin' triple cover. Absolutely cool. A book that I probably would have put $1 on ended up being sold for $40 or whatever it was. And very, very cool. Another one, because of its weirdness and uniqueness, I kind of wish I kept. A Joe Giella or Giella signature. This was brought in, someone was selling me a Showcase 22, and how the story goes is he went to a Joe Giella signing to have him sign it, and Joe had to cancel. He was too sick and unfortunately passed away. The guy was horribly, horribly upset over not being able to get his signature, and then he said when he went home, he finally opened the book for the first time And lo and behold, it was signed by Joe Giella all along. He just happened to sign it years and years ago before that guy even got it. And then he sold it to me. So I had a signed first appearance of Hal Jordan signed by Joe Giella. Very, very cool. Next is I found a Lakeside Tattoos in a Moon Knight 29. Why is that important? Because Moon Knight 29s are not on any list online, at least that I can find, that mention that it could have a Lakeside tattoo. What did I find? Like the one? I searched on eBay. I searched everywhere to see Moon Knight 29 Lakeside tattoos. Couldn't find them anywhere. It is still unexplainable. Again, another book on here that I kind of wish I kept. Makes no sense. Now, I do know that comics in March of 1983 sometimes have these Lakeside tattoos. This did align with that month and year. However, no one has ever said they found one of this. So I found one. So if anyone wants to add it to some list, you can. The last one's really weird. And it got me excited, but then kind of creeped out. I got a copy of an Iron Fist #1. In the back, on the back side of the board and in the plastic, there was a picture of Stan Lee and his wife. Now, this is not a picture off of the internet. This was very clearly like a Kodak click, disposable camera style shot of Stan and his wife. Now, first thing I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I bet there's going to be a Stan Lee signature inside this book. There wasn't. Flipped over through the whole book, no signature or anything. And then it got me thinking, why wouldn't the guy take a picture of himself with Stan Lee or someone get a picture of him with Stan Lee? Why is there just this picture of Stan Lee and his wife in the back of this book? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought how strange that is. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I understand if you got the book signed by Stan Lee and you took a picture of Stan Lee and his wife to kind of put it in the back to commemorate the moment. But if it's not signed, why do you have that? That's weird to me. That's got to be the weirdest stuff I've ever found in comic collections or comics themselves. You guys ever find anything weird? Let me know down below and keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.